Hey, everybody. How's it going? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers, presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365, and presented by your local Ford store. I am Charlie O'Connor, continuing my hosting duties while our fearless leader, Bill Matz, is on his vacation. But today, with me, is Broad Street Hockey's own Kelly Hinkle. Kelly, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Chuck.
Yeah.
I like when it's just me and you.
Honestly, it's fun. You know,
Like Bill and I always joke like, oh, Dad's not here, we can do stuff. But like when Bill's not here, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like the boss isn't here.
I also think there's a little bit of throwback because
Yeah.
even though like Bill was obviously, not an OG Broad Street Hockey person, but he was with Broad Street Hockey since 2016.
Yeah.
But he was also never in Slack.
Yeah.
He wasn't quite in the social group.
We're the real OGs.
We're the real OGs.
Yeah.
So it just feels like we have a lot of history to draw from in a way where my history with Bill is more just show bits.
Yeah.
History with Kelly is more like we can talk about the crazy things that happened in Slack in 2017.
Good times.
Good times.
Only you people know.
Very, very good times. And we are also broadcasting live from the Xfinity studio. Always great. We got our little mics.
I know, this is very official.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're moving on up in the advertising world.
It's great.
It's really cool.
It's pretty cool.
Honestly.
You guys are a pretty big deal.
We're getting there.
Pretty big deal.
We're getting there, Kel.
Yeah.
Anyway, we also have a few housekeeping notes to talk about before we get into the Flyers talk. And yes, we do have things to talk about. So there's actually a little interesting tidbit from a lesser known former Flyer making waves yesterday. But we'll get to that in a few minutes.
Oh, no respect for Dutch Gretzky.
No respect. But before that, I want to tell you some things that have been going on at PHLY, namely our DieHARD sale. We are coming up on the start of Eagle season, Kelly.
Yes.
It's nearly here. It is only a little over a week away next Thursday. And in honor of the start of Eagle season and in honor of our newest launch of shirts and apparel, we have a $36 football club special. There's that Bird Gang Football Club shirt right down there.
Slap.
You can buy that shirt if you want on allphly.com.
Maybe I will.
Or you can become a diehard and you can get that shirt for free.
Yo.
So those are your two options. Either way, you should pick up that shirt, and there's a few others we have on the website as well. But that sale will only be going on for a few days. So if you want to join and become a diehard in anticipation of the Flyer season, which ain't that far away, Kelly, I got news for you. It's a-coming.
I can feel it impending.
It's like a sense of impending doom.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, because you know how it is, Charlie. Once it starts, it is relentless.
Yeah, you're right. It never ends.
Until May.
Until May. Well, maybe until June.
Huh?
You're supposed to be the optimistic one, Kelly.
Maybe.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So if you want to become a diehard, read my articles, read Maddie's articles, read Alex Appleyard's articles. We have our top 20 prospects list coming next week.
Nice.
It's always a must read with my interview with Brent Flair, which I've already done. Did a lot of transcribing of that yesterday. So keep an eye out for that next week. Become a diehard now. Get it for a good price. And you could read all of the great Flyers content we have over the course of the season. Have another update for you about the show. If you are a show mainly person, we are switching times starting next Tuesday. It is the regular season schedule. Obviously, right now we're doing it at 12 p.m. We've been doing that all summer. We're moving back to 4 p.m. Just fits better with practice schedules and making sure that I can be on as many shows as possible. So starting next Tuesday at 4 p.m., that will be our new start time. And that you can expect to go at the very least through the end of the regular season and playoffs, Kelly. You never know.
Yoffs are coming, Chuck.
The Yoffs could happen, to be sure. And then finally, I want to talk about that road trip to Anaheim and Los Angeles with Philly Sports Trips. Going to be on the beach. Going to be going to the Kings and Ducks game. You get the chance to boo Cutter Gauthier in person on his turf.
Yes.
Take over Anaheim.
Yes.
And boo Cutter Gauthier.
Make him cry.
Well, let's not. He's still a young child. I don't want to, like, if he were to cry, that happens.
Not my problem.
But I'm not endorsing making a young man.
I'm just talking about like through booing.
Through booing.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Like make him cry by the number of boos.
Okay.
Don't like call him names. That's not nice.
Well, I mean, you could do that.
Maybe like jerk or something.
Yeah, you know.
Let's go harder than
let's not use slurs here.
No, never.
Yeah, but
People would never anyway.
We got to come up with clever insults.
Yes.
You know, like Jamie's better. That was a clever insult.
That was great.
That was very good.
Just call him William.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that really
Billy
gets on his nerves. For some reason, I feel like he doesn't want to be called William ever. Just because, like, Cutter, I'm cool. My name's Cutter.
It is implying that, you know, he just didn't think William was a cool enough name.
Yeah, well, guess what, buddy? That's your name.
Okay.
I'm calling it it.
In any case, we're going to Los Angeles in March for the road trip. It's basically nearly a week-long trip. There's a Saturday game in San Jose. We are not going to. We're going to have a big watch party. I believe it's going to be like on the beach.
That is the sickest thing I've ever heard.
It's going to be really cool. And then we got John LeClair. And who doesn't want to hang out with John LeClair?
Just for the record, I'm starting a GoFundMe so that I can go on this trip. Please like and subscribe.
Kelly, I think you're going to be going on this trip.
I wasn't sure anymore.
I really hope so.
Me too, but I don't know.
I'm pretty sure we will be able to get you on this trip, Kelly.
Just $5 a day.
You
can support.
You can support Kelly Hinkle
going to California.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, so that's it for our housekeeping, our PHLY stuff. Yes. Now let us get to the show. Oh, and one more thing. Get those like numbers up. I haven't been pushing this. We're only at 27 likes so far. Let's get those
27.
numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. Just saying.
That's nasty.
Those are Cutter Gauthier rookie year numbers.
That's nasty work. You people need to get your stuff
together. We need Matvei Michkov rookie year
numbers.
Let's go. At the very least. And then we can talk about year 2 Matvei Michkov.
Not even hard to smash it.
Matvei Michkov numbers. But I'm not going to ask for that just yet. Right now, I'm just asking for rookie year Matvei Michkov numbers.
If you're on your phone, you just got to close the chat, smash the like button, and open the chat back up. I had to learn that the hard way. I could never figure out how to like it on my phone.
Okay.
I'm slow.
Well, there you go.
I'm the old lady looking at the computer meme.
I do not think that you are that. You are actually quite technologically advanced, Kelly. Just saying. You do run an entire website.
I'd go there.
Okay, so now we're going to get started on the actual show. And I want to kick this off with something that made the rounds yesterday on Flyers social media.
Folks were talking.
Dale Weise. Not exactly a player that I think will go down in the annals of Flyers history as a particularly memorable player.
No, he's going to be one of those guys where in 20 years, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those, you're at the bar and you're naming some dudes.
Yeah, remembering some guys.
And Dale Weise. Oh, remember when Dale Weise signed that 4-year contract and then didn't live up to it? Yeah, I remember that guy. Right, yeah, and then he got waived and traded by Chuck Fletcher. Yeah, that happened.
You got real bad to get traded by Chuck Fletcher. That's all I'll say.
Chuck Fletcher, as we've talked about, that first little bit when he came in and like cleaned house of all the people that we've been complaining about for years.
That's true.
You're thinking, man, we're not really crazy. This guy might know what's up. And then it went downhill, especially after 2020.
Nice
but Dale Weise spent 3 years with the Flyers, played 46 games for them in 2016, 2017, 64 games in 2016, 2017, 46 in 2017, 2018. He was scratched a bunch that year. 2018, 19, 42 games. Then he was waived, sent down to the Phantoms for a few games. And then I believe like 10 days later, he was traded to Montreal, where he probably had his best years in the NHL. He was at his best in Montreal. That's what got him the contract.
Good for him.
That I honestly thought was probably where it was going to end with Dale Weise. You know, disappointing tenure, whatever. He made some money. Cool. It seems like Dale Weise really didn't like his time in Philadelphia.
Somebody's a little bitter.
Seems like this is something that he talks about. I don't think this is the first time that he has called out the Flyers or former Flyers teammates specifically, but on the Slangin' the Biscuit podcast.
Ah, yes. Everyone's favorite podcast, Slangin' the Biscuit.
Which I looked into this. It does appear, so it looks like the two guys who host the podcast, it's a former Winnipeg radio host and then a guy who was a goalie in the lower minors, who became more of like a social media star. Because I was curious, I'm like, I don't recognize these people. Are these former players? The one guy sort of is, but not like a former NHLer. But Dale Weise is from Manitoba, so he probably knows them from the local hockey scene, whatever. So he goes on the show, and he kind of just brought up the Flyers out of nowhere. They were talking about teams with good cultures, and he's like, "Well, I went to Philly, and that culture was terrible." And we got a quote here. So this was the initial quote. It was, "I went to Philly, and within weeks, I was like, man, no wonder this team hasn't won. You could just feel the difference. Two guys leading the charge there were, Claude Giroux, Jake Voracek, who were tremendous players, but not guys that were, in my opinion, really bringing the team together, really wanting to win. Now, he goes on and he says that under that leadership, the room was too cliquey, that everyone was kind of whispering and talking in hushed tones about we're going to hang out here, but don't invite these guys and whatever. I can't speak to whether that happened or not, but maybe, maybe it was a more segmented group back in that era. I know that the guys who were tight with Giroux were very tight with Giroux.
Yeah.
And Voracek Voracek and Simmons were super tight. They're still really good friends. But maybe he then made a point about one time, and I don't know if he was implying this only happened once or if this is a regular thing, but he made a point that there was a time where the Flyers were up like 6-1, and the coach, who I assume was Dave Haxtell at the time, put out the fourth liners on the power play to to not run up the score. And apparently, like, one of Giroux or Voracek, or maybe both, were like side eyeing the coach of being like, we should have been out there. We want to score more points on the power play. And Weise was like, that's just not the right mentality, to win games. So I want to talk about what your thoughts here of the Dale Weise throwing strays at Claude Giroux and Jake Voracek. What are your thoughts here?
I got a few thoughts, Chuck.
Okay.
So this very much comes off like a guy that no one in that room liked.
I think I can confirm he was very good friends with Nolan Patrick.
Okay.
But
stop.
But I
got it now. I got it. Okay, so he was very good friends with Nolan Patrick.
I don't know if he was good friends with anyone else in the room.
Noted, super nice, friendly, affable man, Nolan Patrick. Okay. I mean, honestly, everyone listening knows the picture has been painted. So I was right. Comes off as a guy that nobody liked. And he's still real bitter about it. And so
it does seem like he's bitter about the way his time in Philly went, to be sure.
He's just gonna bring it up every chance that he gets because he knows that A, it's gonna get him attention because we're psychotic.
It's true. We are talking about it.
And also, like, I feel like these are the kind of comments that national media are going to pick up on. Because, like, with all due to the slang and the Bizkit guys, I don't know what their numbers look like. Maybe they're huge in Manitoba. I don't know. I have not heard a lot about them. But, like, honestly, hockey podcasts are like that, right? Like, they're kind of,
Yeah, they're niche.
They're niche.
They have their pockets of people that are.
Like, I'm really not trying to be, like, disrespectful. Like, they might be very popular amongst people that live over there.
In their hockey.
But this is the kind of thing that's going to get some eyeballs on you and your show. So, yeah, why not bring it up? But also, like, just to get into the specifics. Claude Giroux has been known forever to be, like, the most competitive man that's ever lived.
It's true.
Wants to win everything at all times. So the idea that, like, he was fostering an environment in which no one wanted to win seems ridiculous to me. If he was, in fact, complaining that he wasn't getting power play time when they were winning games, like, yeah, why wasn't he getting power? Like, why wouldn't you put Claude Giroux in power play every single time? Like, I understand that, like, in a 6-1 situation, like, you don't necessarily need to score a power play goal, but, like, we've talked about this a bunch before, that, like, that's kind of where guys make their money.
Yeah.
Like, they score points on the power play. Next time the contract negotiations are coming up, you've got more points. Like, I understand. Like, that doesn't seem like a thing that's like a violation to me.
I would agree. I think, the argument Weise is clearly making is that these guys cared more about padding their stats than they did about winning. The underlying argument is that they cared more about padding their stats than letting guys like Dale Weise get some points on the power play.
So this is just more personal grievance.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's part of it. And then maybe it's wrapped a little bit in, like, well, clearly they don't care that much about winning. They only care about what their end of season numbers are. The one comparison that was made in our Discord, and I thought this was an interesting one, was the comparison to, and obviously different situations. One of these happened in a championship game. One of these probably happened in a nothing game in November of a team that wasn't going to win the championship.
Right.
But the comparison was made to Jalen Hurts, about Jalen Hurts after the Eagles were up 40-6 in the Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
and they pulled him because it was like, well, we don't need to score more points. We're going to win. We obliterated the Kansas City Chiefs. They won the Super Bowl. Never forget that.
People do forget, Charlie.
Jalen Hurts was like ticked off that he was getting taken out of the game because he wanted to dominate as much as possible. And he was praised for having like the killer instinct of being like, no, I want to shove it down their throats.
Yes.
I want to win 60-6 because it's the Super Bowl and I want to score as many points as possible. And he was praised for that. This isn't that dissimilar.
No, it's not. And that's what, honestly, what you want out of a professional athlete. Like the idea that like, because what he's saying is like they didn't care about winning. They cared about padding their stats. Well, I have news for Dale Weiss. There's no scenario in which Dale Weiss on the power play puts the team in a better position to win than Claude Giroux on the power play. So, you know, when your best player wants to play a lot so that he scores points, that's because he wants the team to win the game. Like those two things are related. You know what I'm saying? Like these aren't. It is. I feel like there is a little bit of a hockey culture situation here.
There is,
like
to be sure.
Team first.
Yeah.
Whatever. But like I just don't put a lot of credence into any of this because, like, first of all, you don't hear this from like any other dudes that were on that team. Like I don't hear anybody else coming out and
Weiss has been the main voice who has like publicly vocalized the idea that the leaders on that era Flyers team were bad.
And I don't know. I don't buy it. It all comes off as so personal that it just seems silly to me. And if, you know what, if this makes Dale feel better, just going on the podcast, having a little therapy sesh with the homies, you know, go nuts, bud. But it doesn't make me think any less of those teams or those players.
So I want to give some context here because like, I'm not going to sit here and say that like everything Dale Weiss said is BS. Maybe that team was a little cliquey. Maybe they were.
Were you full-time?
I covered Weiss. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, did you get any vibe that like, I don't know, like people were being mean to each other in the locker room? Or
no, I will say that I got the sense that group got significantly closer as a group.
Mm-hmm.
In 2019, 2020, when Kevin Hayes showed up.
Okay.
I thought he did a really good job, especially that first year, of sort of like bringing the group together.
Sure.
And making it maybe more of like a, hey, everybody's in the group chat. We're all buds. Like he's a very social guy.
Right.
And I think he did a really good job of, because Claude Giroux is a hyper competitive guy who has his friends, but he was never going to be like the, you know, like, all right, boys, let's all go out to the bar together.
Right.
Like,
yes.
I just don't think that was his leadership style. He was more of a lead by example, hyper competitive dude on the ice who went crazy in practices and crazy in games and broke 3 sticks a night because he was ticked off at himself. That was more his vibe. And maybe Kevin Hayes was allowed to be a little bit more of the let's bring everybody together socially. So I do think maybe that could have been better and during some years. And I think there might be maybe like something to the idea that maybe some resentment came about, particularly obviously for somebody like Dale Weiss, about the whole thing with like Giroux and Voracek wanting their points.
Yeah.
I want to give some context though, because this isn't a situation where it's just Dale Weiss having not liked his time in Philly. I remember when Dale Weiss was in Philly and talking to people around the team. I'm not talking about players. I'm talking about like front office people, coaches, whatever, that the Flyers were not happy with Dale Weiss either. That there was a feeling among the people in the front office that Dale Weiss was more concerned about, he wanted to be in a scoring role and he felt like it was unfair that he was now just a fourth liner. He had signed with the team to be to get third, second line minutes, to be on the power play, and he felt shortchanged. And there were people around the team that kind of described him to me as something of a malcontent. So there was that, number one.
For one, I'm shocked.
This, don't forget, like Dale Weiss was one of the main subjects of that Jim Jackson, Jonesy hot mic situation where like they are not stating this without hearing when they were basically like, oh yeah, Weiss stops trying when he doesn't get his minutes.
I forgot about that.
That's not just them spitballing. That was something that I'm sure that they were hearing from people above them about, like grumbling about Dale Weiss and the contract they were stuck with. Also, the Nolan Patrick thing, I had heard that, and again, this is what I'm hearing from the Flyers. I'm not saying it's 100% true. I'm just saying this is what I was hearing at the time.
Right.
I was hearing that people around the Flyers were like, we need to get rid of Weise because he's a bad influence on Nolan Patrick. That he is making Nolan Patrick into kind of like a grumbly, pouty kid because Dale Weise is constantly grumbly and pouty because he wants more minutes. That was one of the reasons why Fletcher rushed to trade Dale Weise. Now, again, that's the Flyers side. The Dale Weise side is that the leader stunk and the culture was bad. Maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle. Maybe it's closer to the Flyers' view. Maybe it's closer to Weise's view. But I just want to give the full picture here because this is not just a case of like, well, everybody liked Dale Weise, but Dale Weise was unimpressed by the Flyers. The Flyers were just as unimpressed with Dale Weise as he was with them.
Which is probably why Dale Weise is so bitter. Because, as you said, he wanted to come in here and get a bunch of minutes and score a bunch of points. But like, hey, bud, you never really earned any of that while you were here. Like, sure, you did a little something in Montreal, but you never did anything here.
He wasn't very good.
Like, whose fault is that? Is that also Claude Giroux's fault because he was mean to you on Saturdays or whatever? Like, I don't know. I just, honestly, like, it's a little, it's getting cringy on the part of Dale Weise because, like you said, this isn't the first time. It has been years since he's been a part of this hockey team.
This pops up every couple years. Like he goes on a show and he takes little digs at the Flyers.
That's the thing. Like as soon as anybody puts a microphone in front of Dale Weise, he's saying something about the Flyers, and it's a little bit like, like move on, dude. Like you guys broke up. Get over it.
Yeah.
It's been years.
And the point I will make about
Live in
Drew.
the now.
And look, I admit that I am positively predisposed towards Claude Giroux. I watched him try to carry a team that was not good enough to win anything for years.
Right.
And then get crapped on by a bunch of fans who are like, well, obviously it's Claude Giroux's fault because the captain should score 140 points if that's what it takes to, to get the team to the playoffs. I will say that in his defense, I've heard nothing but good things about him as a person and his leadership abilities in Ottawa. They like Brady Tkachuk loves him. They all love him. They think he's great. They think he's such a good veteran presence. Like Brady Tkachuk in his exit interview at the end of this past season, because Drew's contract was about to expire, was like openly advocating that like we have to re-sign G. He's the best. And this is like the captain of your team being like, we need this guy. I need this guy. So if it was just like my perception of him in Philly, I would be like more open to the idea of maybe he actually was a crappy leader. But when you hear everybody in Ottawa saying, we like him a lot too, I feel like that's a nice third-party validation of maybe these stories from Dale Weise aren't the most accurate, or at the very least, he's just biased because he didn't personally click with Drew and Voracek as people. Curiously,
Charles, 0 Stanley Cups in Ottawa in the Claude Giroux era.
Ooh, it's a fair point.
Many people are saying that he doesn't know how to win.
It's all Claude Giroux's fault. Before we get into the heart of our show, though,
let's
go to a quick commercial break. Okay, first, I want to talk to you about one of our presenting, or not our presenting sponsor, the sponsor of this studio, Xfinity. I want to talk to you about them because Xfinity is the most reliable Wi-Fi with best-in-class equipment. Kelly, I've been told the Wi-Fi is indeed booming.
It do be booming.
It is booming.
The connection is spotless.
Whether you're streaming, gaming, or working from home, the Wi-Fi from Xfinity is booming. Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet. So I want to talk about the converged internet and mobile. Xfinity combines the power of internet and mobile, so you got lightning fast speeds at home and on the go. With Xfinity Internet and mobile together, the Wi-Fi is booming wherever you are. Get Xfinity plus mobile, Internet plus mobile, and supercharge your phone with Wi-Fi Power Boost for the ultimate connection. Xfinity Internet and mobile are the ultimate power couple, and with Wi-Fi Power Boost from Xfinity Mobile, you get ultra-fast speeds with reliable internet at home and a secure network on the go. So your Wi-Fi is booming wherever you are. With Xfinity Internet and mobile, you can do more of what you love wherever you are. Internet plus mobile, stronger together. Xfinity combines the power of internet and mobile. Most reliable Wi-Fi claim based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Xfinity restrictions apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Actual speeds vary. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. Wi-Fi Power Boost available to Xfinity Mobile customers only. Actual speeds vary. Now, Kelly.
Yep.
Have you ever used Cash App?
You know what, Chuck? I haven't, but I keep hearing about it. I know a lot of people do use it.
More and more people are using it
Mm.
because Cash App does more than you think when it comes to having your back and making sure your money stays your money. If you direct deposit at least $300 in paychecks each month and use the Cash App card for purchases, you can unlock up to $200 in free overdraft coverage. And if you overdraft unexpectedly, there are no hidden fees. So manage your money on your terms and take advantage of free overdraft coverage up to $200 on Cash App today. And for a limited time only, new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash for real. Just out, download Cash App, use our exclusive referral code CASH, PHLY, all caps, in your profile. Send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Direct deposit, roundups, overdraft coverage, and discounts provided by Cash App, a Block Incorporated brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. Kelly.
Yo.
Funny story about that. So yesterday, I've gotten so used to coming out of the break and then doing that, Kelly. And I did that, and it was Maddie, and I felt so bad.
Did you? I only got to watch half the show yesterday. That's really funny.
It was the second one, and I just immediately, just in my head, flipped back to just going like, Kelly. And then she's like, I'm Maddie. I'm like, no, I'm so sorry. But now Kelly's back.
There's just one girl on any given podcast.
No, it's definitely that was why I felt so bad. It's because that's the thing. Like there's one woman on a show, even if there are three, they all are the same.
That's true.
Right. That's what I've been told by certain people online.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly.
Yep.
Want to get to the heart of the show today.
Okay.
We're done talking about Dale Weise, thankfully.
Oh.
And the idea of this show is the make or break players for the upcoming Flyers season. Now, obviously, you can look at this and be like, well, Matvei Michkov, he's the best player on the team, or Travis Konecny, he's the best player on the team. That's not exactly what I want to talk about.
Okay.
I want to talk about the guys that have, in our minds, the widest range of plausible outcomes for the season. Like, for example, Noah Cates. I think we all like Noah Cates. He's a good player. He's steady. He's reliable. He's going to face off against Connor McDavid a couple times a year and do well and take tough minutes and probably finish with 35 points. But he's just kind of Noah Cates.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think there's a high likelihood that he's going to blow up with a 65, 70-point season, nor do I think there's a high likelihood that he's just going to stink. You know, maybe he regresses back to where he was 2 years ago,
Right.
but even then, a lot of that was injury-driven. And then once he got healthy at the end of the year, he was pretty good. I think Noah Cates is a pretty low-variance guy. He's going to be useful. He's going to help the team. But there's not a lot of concern about him or excitement about him that he's going to have a big year or that he could have a bad year.
That's fair.
I'm talking about the guys who, if everything breaks right, man, they could be great. We could be talking about them this time next year about, well, how are they going to build off their breakout season? Or alternatively, they could be bad. They could be getting healthy scratched. They could be clashing with the coach. They could be traded by the end of the year. They could be going the Joel Farabee, Morgan Frost route. These are the guys where how they do this season is going to decide whether the Flyers are battling for a playoff spot or they're battling for the top spot in the lottery. Because if they're great, Flyers could be good. If they're bad, Flyers could be real, real bad again. So I want to talk about a few because I have four that jumped out at me the most. And then I have a bunch others that I want to see if you're willing to go to bat for as these types of guys.
Okay.
To me, I think the top two are probably the most obvious.
Yeah.
This number two being number two only because they have a fallback plan.
Yeah.
If he doesn't play well. But number one, I think, is Trevor Zegras.
Yeah.
Because the range of plausible outcomes for Zegras is so high where we've seen him look like a potential future star in the NHL.
Yeah.
Like, we're not even talking about a guy who, he scored a lot of points in juniors, and he could. Like, it's not a Morgan Frost situation. We've seen Trevor Zegras look like a dude who appeared to be on the trajectory of being a 90, 100-point guy.
Cover of the video game, Chuck.
And then we've seen a dude who can't stay healthy, falls out of favor with a bad hockey team that decides he can't even play center for them, and then they trade him for Ryan Poehling and a second-round pick. If Zegras is 1C level point per game, this team could go to the playoffs.
Agreed.
But there's also a world where Rick Tocchet hates him, moves him to wing by mid-November,
Yeah.
and he doesn't even get re-signed by the Flyers at the end of the year when his contract is up.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I can't deny it's a possibility.
No, it's a non-zero chance.
And that's why I think Zegras is the highest variance guy on this team. He has such a high ceiling, but we've also seen that the floor can be very low as well.
And also, I think you could argue that, like, the overall long-term success of this team kind of hinges on him being closer to option A than option B, because as we've said a million times, one of the biggest problems is that we don't have a 1C. How are you going to get a 1C? I don't know. Seems like a tough thing to get.
Pretty hard.
If Zegras is that, cool. Problem solved. If he's not, even if he's like, even if he ends up being, you know, like a good 2C, you've still got the problem that you had before.
True.
That you don't have a 1. So I do think that, like, there might not be, and obviously, like, Michkov popping off, super important. Other players taking steps, super important. I think you could plausibly argue that, like, there is nothing more important this season than Trevor Zegras turning back into Trevor Zegras that made the cover of the video game.
Yeah, I think Michkov is more important for the long term, but me and Bill talked about this, I think, last week when I came back, that if Michkov doesn't have his breakout year this year, that's not the end of the world.
No, I'm not gonna, it's not like you're gonna think, oh, bust.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right, yeah.
Like, it would be great if he pops up to 90, 80, 90 points and looks like a star. That would be awesome. But if he scores 70, I'm still going to think that he has superstar upside. It's just, well, it might take 3 or 4 years rather than 1 or 2.
Yes.
That's cool. Whereas with Zegras, not even what you're saying about, like, they need a 1C, which they do. They absolutely do. It's also that he only has 1 year on his deal.
Yeah.
So, like, this is his chance.
He's got to do it.
And if he flops, I mean, at the very least, he's just not going to get that big of a contract. But very possibly, the Flyers could just, like, trade him away or not qualify him. Just say, we're done with him. We're washing our hands. It's not like they gave up. It would be one thing if they gave up 2 first-round picks. Then you're like, all right, well, we're kind of wedded to this guy. We gotta give him more than 1 year to figure this out. They didn't give up much.
Nope.
If Zegras doesn't play well here, it's not hard to trade him away as he's a restricted free agent for a 3rd-round pick and be like, well, we tried.
We tried.
You know, we took a swing. We missed. It happens. And we'll get a mid-round pick asset back for him for another team that wants to try to rehabilitate this guy's value. But by the same token, if he hits,
we got something.
You got something. You got something big, because you just go back to how good he was those first 2 years. And it wasn't perfect. The defense wasn't there. He didn't drive play, but he was so dynamic. He was so dynamic.
Yeah.
He made plays after plays after plays. And then you think, like, you know, if he hits, suddenly maybe the power play isn't the worst in the league. Michkov has a center who can think at his level in the offensive zone. The upside to Zegras hitting, if anything, I think we're underselling it.
You know, you're probably right. Because I kind of think it's undersold, because I think that because they didn't have to give up a lot to get him, and because his value had been so diminished, obviously, because it didn't cost a lot to get him.
Right.
I think that a lot of Flyers fans might be going into this assuming that, well, this can't be the solution to the problem.
There's a little
bit
there's
no
there's
way.
a little bit of reverse cope where like you're thinking like, well, you know, he can't be that good.
Right.
So that but he could be that good.
Well, here's why I'm optimistic that it's going to work, because like if you talk to a Ducks fan, like every single one that I've at least talked to will tell you that moving him to wing was a mistake. Never should have done it.
Fair.
That he was better at center and that moving him to wing was a mistake. So there's that. The second thing is that the coaching situation. He had a terrible coach the last couple of years in Anaheim. And from everything that we've heard about Rick Tocchet, dudes, especially high-end dudes, love playing for him. So I feel like the environment is going to be there to foster the best possible version of Trevor Zegras that we could possibly get. That with the... You usually get a little bit of an FU bump, I feel like, with these kinds of guys.
We're
where
hoping
like,
for one, to
I'm
be
going
sure.
to show you that you shouldn't have given up on me.
Yeah.
There's that. I think that he's just going to be happier. And like, I know no one wants to admit that they're humans, but they're humans. And if you like going to work every day, you're probably going to do a little bit better than you would have otherwise.
He does have multiple buds.
He's
on
got
this team.
homies on this
He's
team.
got buds on this team.
So I just feel like everything is aligning for the best possible version of Trevor Zegras to emerge. Now, is that going to be a lights out 1C? That's the part that's up in the air. But I do feel like if that player still exists, if he's in there, we're going to get it. And if we don't get it, no one's getting it. That just doesn't exist. And so that I feel like is like the best possible situation that you could hope for here, because it is a question mark. So all that you can do is give him the tools that he needs to get back to that place. And if he's going to do it, he's going to do it here. And it's going to be this year for all those reasons that you cited, like contract year. Wants to show up the Ducks and be like, you shouldn't have given up on me. Like, probably wants to stay here with his friends. Like, probably wants to get another contract here. Like, there's just so many things that I really feel like I'm like super optimistic about the Zegras thing. I really think it's going to work. And if it doesn't, I'm going to be real bummed out.
Yeah, it'll be a bummer.
It will be.
By the same token, if it were to not work, it would really hurt the Flyers. Like,
it would.
Because their centers are not good right now. Like, they don't have a great group of centers, and that's with Zegras. Now, Zegras could make the centers into being pretty good, because if he's a clear-cut 1C, Couturier is a passable 2C, I think.
Yeah.
Cates is a fine 3C.
Yeah.
You know, Dvorak, Luchenko, whatever, whoever, you know, fills out the center core, suddenly you're like, yeah, you know, if Zegras can be that 1C, pretty good center core. If Zegras is a winger by December, or if Zegras is getting the Morgan Frost under John Tortorella treatment where he's getting scratched for a week at a time.
Yeah.
Suddenly your centers are Sean Couturier 1C. I think even the biggest Sean Couturier fans, and I count myself as one of them, doesn't think he's good 1C levels at this stage of his career.
Yeah, not the ideal situation.
Not anymore.
No.
No Cates 2C. Again, at 3C, I'm all in.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If he's getting 18, 19, 20 minutes a night, don't love that.
No.
Then, you know, maybe you keep Luchenko, but if you don't, then what? Christian Dvorak's your 3C? The center position gets real bad, and then Rodrigo Abels is your 4C. If Zegras can't hack it, center turns back into a major weakness, the way it was in the second half of last season after they traded Morgan Frost.
Are you living in a world in which Jet does not make this team? Do you think he's going to?
I think he's going to make the team if I had to bet.
Yeah.
But I think it's very much like 55-45.
Gotcha.
So I could certainly see a world where he doesn't, or he makes the team, plays 9 games, and then they send it back.
Okay.
And then, like, I think regardless, Zegras is going to get 2 months at center.
Oh,
I think they are going to give him an extended look at center.
For sure.
But I certainly could see a world where Rick Tocchet, being the, you know, at his core, a traditionalist hockey guy, decides that this dude doesn't play defense and he wins 40% of his faceoffs. I can't do this anymore. I could see that world. Now, I hope it doesn't happen. I want him to stick down the middle. I want them to give him the whole season, if not more.
Yeah.
You know, assuming he resigns. But I could see a world where Tocchet, like, I've talked to people with other teams who have basically said, like, oh, it's an interesting bet, but, like, good luck convincing Tocchet to keep him at center.
Oh, hate that.
So.
Don't love that. Because I just think that, like, and I don't know if this is even a thing that could happen, but this to me feels like a scenario in which maybe Briere has to say, like, listen, bud, I know, I get it.
You get it.
But we either need this kid to be a center or we don't need him at all. So you got to see if it can happen. And honestly, 2 months, I don't think is enough time.
I agree.
It's not enough games. It's not enough time. It's like, if you're going to see if it's going to work, you got to give him like at least half the season.
So the one thing I'll say about that, and then we do have to go to break, but the one thing I'll say about that is, look, I want Zegras to stick down the middle. I think he's probably a better center than a wing based on everything I've heard from the people that watched him in Anaheim. Right. That said, the Flyers aren't that strong at left wing. And if he were to be moved to the wing and turns himself into a 70, 75 point a year winger, I would still want to keep that guy. Like, I think they still need high-end guys. Like, ideally, he's a high-end guy at center.
Yeah.
But if he is a near point per game winger on the left side, like, I'm still re-signing that guy all day. You know what I mean?
You're not wrong there, because I'm still working with my wings on top theory of the structure of this team.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, if he's a point per game winger, like that's not a bad outcome. But it's still the Flyers then still have a giant problem that
Right.
they have to solve. So long term, it's not super great. It's not obviously as good as him being a 1C. But I do kind of think that like even if after 2 months Tochet's thinking, I don't know, I think this guy might be a wing. I still think you gotta give him time to prove it at center, just because they need it to work so badly that like you really gotta exhaust every possible chance that it could work before you decide and just put him on the wing.
Kelly, I'm with you. But before we get to the number 2 player who will make or break the Flyers season, we got to go to another commercial break. Now I'm going to tell you about our friends at Parx Casino. So whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx online casino app. Check out brand new casino games like Huff and More Puff and Fireblaze Sky Queen at BetParx exclusive. It's the only app I ever use to play my favorite casino games in the palm of my hand. Play blackjack, roulette, craps, poker, baccarat, and hot online slots like Cash Eruption, 88 Fortunes, and Cleopatra online slots. Play hot online slots games based on your favorite streaming shows: Walking Dead, Squid Game, Breaking Bad, and Peaky Blinders, and all your favorite classic casino games from wherever you are. New users get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Go to betparx.com and download the app right now and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. You must be 21 and in PA, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParx. You love to play, you play to win, you bet. BetParx. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now I'm going to tell you about our new partners at Ford, the Ford Motor Company, and their legendary Ford F-Series, the best-selling truck in America for 48 straight years. The F-150 blends work-ready toughness with modern-day tech and luxury, offers free 6 powertrain options, including a hybrid and fully electric Lightning model. The 35-liter Power Boost Hybrid V6 delivers 430 horsepower and amazing towing capacity, best-in-class towing of up to 14,000 pounds, depending upon configuration. Then there's the Pro Power on board, which turns your truck into a mobile generator, perfect for job sites or tailgates. Can't wait for those Eagles tailgates coming up.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Military-grade aluminum alloy body, tough, lightweight, and corrosion-resistant. Advanced Sync 4 system with cloud-based voice recognition and over-the-air updates. Interior work surface folds out to become a desk inside your truck. Smart and convenient. Got those max recline seats offering nearly 180 degrees of recline, great for naps and breaks. There's the tailgate work surface, which is a carpenter's dream. Ruler clamps and more built right in. And a 360-degree camera system helping with trailering, parking, and off-roading. Got the selectable drive modes: mud, sand, snow, tow haul, eco, and more. And then the available FX4 off-road package brings skid plates, off-road tuned shocks, and e-locking rear differential. The Ford Blue Cruise hands-free highway driving system is available on certain trims. They got 3 cab options: regular, super cab, and super crew, plus bed lengths to fit your needs. For more information, visit your local Ford store. Kelly.
Yo.
Now let's go to a player who I suspect a lot of people thought might be number 1.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I didn't put him number 1 is because if he flops, there is the chance that Dan Vladar could be good.
Uh-huh.
These are goalies. Goalies could be anything. They could even be a boat.
They could always be a boat.
But I do think Sam Ersson is right there, in no small part because the goaltending has been such a big problem.
You know why I think he's not the most important one?
Why?
It's because I don't think there's as great of a variance as I think you do.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think there's a great goaltender in there. I think like the most that we could hope for out of him at this point is like a league average goalie.
Okay.
That hopefully doesn't get hurt.
Fair.
Like for me, if we get that out of Sam Ersson this year, I'm going to be like, cool, did it. Not bad.
You've lowered your hopes of his ceiling.
Yeah, I in my mind, like at this point, the ceiling I think is like a 1B.
Okay.
And I think that like really what he is like a probably solid backup. That said, he's pretty young, goalies, it seems, don't seem to really hit their stride till their late 20s. So he could very well turn into something. I just, like, based on what we've seen, don't buy it.
Okay.
And this is another situation in which I hope everyone gets to tell me how dumb I am for not believing that Sam Ersson was going to be a good goalie. But I don't see it. So I guess that, like, in my mind, because my expectations are low, he's not the one that's going to break the season for me.
Okay. That's fair.
But I understand why you put him there. I think
Yeah.
most people would agree with
I think most people probably would.
Yes.
I think my hope for his ceiling
Mhm.
is basically he turns back into the guy he was pre-Carter Hart situation.
Right.
Where he was in the first half of that year. And I don't think that guy was a star. He was just a good goalie.
He was good.
He was a good tandem goalie.
He was good.
And I think that is his best case scenario ceiling if he either just has a good year or plays better when truly sharing the load with another goalie like Dan Vladar. And that level, I think, puts the Flyers back in the playoff mix. I think if he's a good goalie, if he is a, let's say 905, 906, percentage goalie and gives them 40, 45 games of that, I think the Flyers are on the playoff bubble. I do.
Yeah.
I think that is enough as long as Dan Vladar isn't the worst goalie in NHL history in the other 35 games. I think they're a playoff bubble team. And I think that is a dramatic ceiling raiser of this team, even if I don't think his ceiling is that of an elite goalie. Like, I guess any goalie could pop off a 920 at any time because they're goalies.
Because they're goalies.
But realistically, going back to where he was in 2023, 2024, before Hart had his thing, that to me is best case. To me, and this is where I probably agree with you, I think his floor is low.
Yeah.
Like, he could just be really, really bad.
Yeah.
There's a world where, like, Vladar takes the #1 job, not because Vladar is killing it, but because Ersson is sitting at 885.
Yeah, right.
And then you're like, well, do we call Ivan Fedotov back up from the minors? Like, is that our move? And if that's the case, then this team's going to be down in the lottery again. So that's why I think I'm viewing, and I think the reason why I pick Ersson over Vladar as more of the make or break goalies, because I do think at least to start the year, Ersson's going to be getting more starts.
Oh, for sure.
He's going to be having more of a game-to-game impact on how they do.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, if he's bad, they could get off to an awful start. Whereas if he's good, they could get off to a great start.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, Vladar, I think, is very obviously the break glass in case of emergency guy. Like, they're just like, all right, he'll probably be fine enough that if Ersson completely blows it, we'll have somebody that can stop the puck sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's better than Kolosov or Fedotov, which is the world's lowest bar.
You're hoping. We're all hoping to not have to watch goaltending like that again.
Yeah, I just...
Kolosov, Fedotov, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, I really hope Ersson is able to pull it together this year. I just don't know. I don't know. But you are correct. I mean, your argument is obviously correct. Like, if he's good, you're right. I think that they're a playoff team. Because I feel like the last couple of years, as the goaltending was better, they could have been a playoff team.
Yeah.
And if he's bad, they're going to be real bad again. But I guess it's just like my expectations are what is keeping me from thinking it's so important.
I think that's fair.
I don't know if that makes sense.
I think that's totally fair, and we'll see. The presence of Vladar, I think, is what keeps me from putting him at 1, because there's a world where Ersson underwhelms and Vladar steps up
and he's fine
and delivers a 910, 912, and then we're thinking like, well, who cares that Ersson stinks? Vladar's the guy.
Right. Oh, no. Could you imagine a scenario in which Dan Vladar plays so well that the stupid Flyers talk themselves into, like, thinking he's a guy and we've got to keep him?
Hey, maybe he is. You know what? Goalies are weird.
They are the weirdest.
They're so weird.
That's why I don't even bother.
Could be. He could be the guy.
My goalie analysis is, I don't know. We'll see.
Exactly.
Could be a boat.
Now let's move on to a guy who is very much the opposite of Matvei Michkov.
No, he's the light of my life, Charles.
So the reason why I put Matvei Michkov on this list, it's pretty much for the opposite reason of Sam Ersson. Sam Ersson, I'm like, all right, ceiling, solid.
Right.
Slightly above average. That's what I'm hoping for. But the floor, real low.
Yeah.
With Michkov this year, and I'm not talking about the future, I'm just talking about this season and its impact on how the Flyers will do this year. I think his floor is high. I think in a worst case scenario world, he clashes a bit with Tocchet. You know, maybe he gets sat for periods and games. It's basically Torts Redux.
Oh boy.
And he more or less delivers the same kind of point totals he delivered last year, but maybe in more minutes. You know, instead of doing it in 17 minutes, he's doing it in 19. And you're like, well, it's a disappointment. They gave him 2 more minutes a game and he repeated his numbers.
Okay.
Bit of a sophomore slump. That's his floor. But the reason why he's on this list as a make or break player is that he's the guy on this team where there's a world where he just pops and scores 100. Like that could happen. Do I think it's likely?
Yes.
No, but I think it's a plausible outcome. He is that talented. And if he does that, they're a bubble playoff team because he's that freaking good.
I am 100% expecting him to score 100 points. I know that that's ridiculous, but I'm doing it anyway. Because I just like, based on what he did last year under the John Tortorella circumstances, which were obviously not super favorable for him.
Fair.
Based on his attitude leaving the season, which was basically, I sucked. Everything I did was bad. Everything I need to do is better.
I could have been way better.
Yeah. I just think he's going to pop. I think he's really going to pop off. And like, I do think that like I really think we got something special here. Like,
I do too.
I really don't think he's just like a B tier star hockey player. Like, I really think that this is going to be like, I know saying Ovechkin is stupid. Like I don't know that he's going to break Ovechkin's scoring record.
Seems unlikely. Be cool.
He's off to a slow start for breaking Ovechkin's scoring record is the problem.
That's true.
But I do think that like he's going to be that kind of guy where it's like you have a player that's so good that your team can't be bad anymore.
Yeah.
And I really think that we're going to see the start of that this season. Like, I don't think that we're going to see Max Michkov this season, but I really think he's going to take a big jump. And I'm hoping that Zegras is part of it, just those two playing together. And I am hoping that Tocchet's part of it as well. I'm really trying to be super optimistic about the Tocchet thing.
We're getting close to the start of season. Optimistic Kelly is returning.
It's happening.
It's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think he's going to be so good. He's just going to be so good.
I think he's going to be really good. I'm not sure if it happens this year, but I can't deny the possibility that it does. And if he scores 85 points, this team's going to be better.
Yeah.
And then you're just wondering how much better. You know, are they picking 12th better, or are they going to game 82 with a shot at the playoffs better? They could be if there's help elsewhere, but Michkov is the guy with such a high ceiling that I think you have to include him on one of these make or break lists.
For sure.
Because it's less about break and it's more about make. Is that he could make the season by having his big breakout right now.
100%. Like, someone asked a question, I think in one of the mailbags not that long ago, was like, would you rather Michkov score 90 or the Flyers make the playoffs? And if Michkov is scoring 90,
there's a good chance
the Flyers are making the playoffs. You know what I mean?
It's like a why not both?
He's going to be dragging them into a wild card spot at least. Yeah. And it's just like,
I would say Michkov. I would rather have Michkov 90 than the Flyers make the playoffs. Because I think that long term it's more important.
100%.
But I agree with you where it's like, why not both?
Yeah, I can't envision a world in which he's scoring 90 and the rest of the team is so bad that they're not making, like, I just don't see how that's possible, because him scoring 90, now you got guys with a bunch of assists. You got other guys that are going to be stepping up. Like Michkov, as we've seen, is also an excellent distributor of the puck. So like, if he's scoring 90 points, he's probably getting some guys a lot. I mean, there's just no world in which he turns into the best version of himself that this team isn't competitive. And that's super exciting because, like, it's been since Lindros that we've had a guy that could make the team. It's always been like,
Drew was the next tier down, to be sure.
Right.
He was not on the Lindros tier.
No. He needed guys around him. It's always been like, can we build enough B tier, C tier players that this is a good hockey team? This is the first time since Lindros that we've had a guy that he can do it on his own. And that's like super exciting and also terrifying.
A little scary.
Because if it doesn't happen, then everything's over and we're all going to die.
Well, then we just put our faith in Porter Martone.
Porter Martone.
Porter Martone.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm super excited about Michkov this season. I really think he's going to be good. And I do kind of think that, like, he's going to be the one to crush any lottery dreams that anybody might have this season. And I'm cool with it.
Could be.
Yeah.
All right. There's a few more guys who could be options. I thought about Jamie Drysdale because I do think he has a high ceiling. I just don't know if like him being bad would torpedo the year, because then they could just park him on the third.
That's
pick.
true.
Him being really good could elevate the team, because then he would be a power play, one.
If we're talking more
guy.
long term, I think he fits on this list better. Yeah.
And then like Cam York possibility as well. But again, I don't know what his ceiling is.
Yeah.
Like his ceiling is just like good top 4 defenseman. And I don't know if he has the ability to make the Flyers season, because I don't think I see like 60 point.
Right.
Oh man, he's competing for the Norris level upside. Luchenko and Bump, the rookies. Yeah. If they show up and are competing for the Calder, that could help. We saw what an out of nowhere rookie performance can do when we watched Shane Gostisbehere.
Right.
Like we saw what that can do. They're in there. We mentioned Vladar, Tyson Forrester. If he comes back, starts the season in game 1, as the Flyers are claiming they believe he will, and then scores 35. Yeah, maybe he's someone you have to think about. But to me, it's Owen Tippett. Tippett is one of the make or break guys, because we've seen the flashes.
Yeah.
We know what he theoretically could be if he puts it all together, because we've watched entire games where he puts it all together and then he disappears for a week. I think his best case scenario, 35 plus goals, puts it all together, and he's a top line winger, and he's great. Scoring on the power play, scoring at even strength, rounding out his game. Worst case scenario is it's a disaster with Rick Tocchet. Tocchet wants him to play more of a grinded out possession game. Tippett can't do it.
Oh, no.
And we're talking by the end of the year about that they're going to have to trade him because it's just not going to work. I think Tippett has the talent to make the season, but he's in an important enough role where if he just doesn't perform, that is taking away one of the guys they are depending upon, both from a cap standpoint and a role standpoint, to be one of the primary, and this is a little bit of an oxymoron, but one of the primary secondary scorers.
No, you're 100% right. Like, it's very clear that based on the contract they gave him, that they expected that he would be, as you said, one of the primary second tier guys on this team, scoring a bunch of goals, because that's his whole thing, is scoring goals. That's what he does. And if he can't find that again, then yeah, he's like, there's nothing for him here. Like, that's all that he is good for. He's not like a Tyson Forrester playing a good two-way game. Like, he's not a shutdown guy. He's not a checking guy. Like, he's just here to get the puck and shoot the puck a lot, over and over and over again.
Yep.
Hopefully at the net. That would be nice.
Be cool.
And score a bunch of goals. And part of me wonders, this is actually, now that you've brought him up, I was on a Locked On Flyers not that long ago. I went on them with Russ and Rachel.
Yeah.
Russ brought up something that I found pretty interesting, especially when it comes to a guy like Tippett. The Flyers put a lot of emphasis on, like, I feel like the skills coaching portion of developing their team. Like, they've got the goalie coach, they've got skating guys, like they've got, obviously, we've talked about it all the time. One of the good things about having Comcast owning your team is that you've got lots of money to spend on these ancillary things that don't count against the cap that can give you an advantage. Yeah. Why don't the Flyers employ a shooting coach?
It's an interesting question. I don't, and this is where the fact that, like, I don't regularly play hockey probably shows itself, at least not now. I don't know if, like, there are full-time shooting
It's
coaches.
my understanding that there are.
There are, okay.
That, like, apparently this, Russ told me the story. Like, apparently at one point during his career, Claude Giroux went to this, like, shooting coach guru guy in Canada that improved his shot. Like, I'm sure that these guys exist. Yeah. Like, if there's money to be spent on improving a hockey player, there's some dude that's going to do it.
I guess there's got to be specialties for everything. Now, it might not be somebody that, like, you can justify hiring as a full-time employee.
But why not? You got all the money in the world.
I guess that's fair.
I just feel like what we saw from Tippett last year was both a lack of volume and a real annoying lack of accuracy. When he shot the puck, a lot of times it wasn't going where you wanted it to go, and it was very frustrating to watch. And I just feel like if that's a skill. So, like, theoretically, if skating can be improved, if hitting can be improved, if you can bring in an MMA guy to get the fighting to be a little bit better, like, why can't you improve a dude's shooting accuracy? I feel like you probably can, and I think it might be one of those things that they just leave to guys to do on their own. You know,
It's a fair point. I was waiting for you to get done, but we are
Sorry.
about to go to
I couldn't
overtime.
stop talking. That's my bad,
So
fam.
keep watching on YouTube if you want to continue.
Anywho, I've gotten off track. I would agree that Owen Tippett needs to be better if this team is going to succeed, and it needs to start immediately.
I would.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree. I wouldn't put him on the level of guys like Zegras and Ersson.
No,
and I just think Michkov's ceiling is higher than Tippett's. But I think Tippett's right there. I think he is a guy where we've seen him look like an impact goal scorer, an impact forward. He has the physical tools.
Right.
It is possible. And I'm not even saying like single digits. I think it's over 10% possibility that he has a big year. He could, because we've seen it. It's not like you are dreaming on something you haven't seen.
Nope.
We've watched him be that guy for 1 game, 2 games, here and there. He just hasn't done it for long enough for you to believe that he can do it for a full year. But I'll bet on the guy who I've seen do it once in a while as opposed to the guy who I've never seen do it.
I just don't know why. If I were him, I would simply be the player that did that Spinaroo goal of the year goal every year. Just do that every game, bud. That's all I need from you. Be that guy every game.
It's that easy, actually.
I would just do that.
I would just do that.
Yeah.
Why don't you just do that?
Do that.
Tippett?
Yeah.
Okay. So that will do it for the main portion of the show, but I believe we have super chats.
Oh,
and also,
my goodness,
142 likes. You guys came through. Let's see if we can get that up to like 160 by the end of the show. But you guys came. All right, I'm going 160. You're asking for 200. But you guys came through. Thank you very much to all of our viewers of the show on YouTube. Let's kick it off with Gary B, the legendary Gary B. Let's go Flyers. Kelly, where did you get that shirt? I must find it and purchase said item.
Gary, I'm gonna get one for you.
It's a Broad Street hockey shirt.
Jam shirt.
It's good. It's real good.
So I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this out loud. We put it up in our store and it was taken down pretty quickly.
Ooh.
But I got an order in and they printed it for me. So maybe we could try that again, Gary. I don't know.
A little under the table.
Yeah. Eddie Vedder, if you're listening, just let me make this shirt.
I'm glad this happened in overtime.
Yeah, me too.
I'm glad we got this in overtime. All right, next up, Neil gets it. Neil does get it. Fave Dale Weiss memory was someone on Twitter using his face on the Patrick Star. I thought you said Weiss meme. I think I was one of the people who pushed that.
That feels extremely
I think that was a me thing. There's a SpongeBob episode where they walk in one direction for really, really far, and Patrick is using the compass. And Mr. Krabs says, like, I don't know, where's the X? Where's the X? It's supposed to be here, like 500 paces east. And then Patrick's like, east? I thought you said west. And it's so good. So yeah, I was definitely one of the people who pushed that meme because it's very funny.
Like a
very funny.
Yeah.
Neil, thank you. I had forgotten about that bit. That was a good bit. I'm proud of that one.
Sometimes Twitter was good.
Sometimes Twitter was good.
Yeah.
All right. G Fruscione.
Yeah.
J.E. Fruscione, 6214, $10 super chat. Thanks, J.E. Hi, Kelly and Charlie. I am placing the over-under on the team save percentage for the year at 895. What are you taking?
Oh,
that's a good question.
Optimistic Kelly says over.
I'll go under.
Oh, Charlie.
I think that's the big reason why I'm pessimistic about the team this year is that I'm not sold on the goaltending. But if they're over 895, we'll have stuff to talk about well into February and March.
The way I will throw a party for all the listeners if we get 900 goaltending this season. Like, I just need that. Please. I beg of you.
It'd be great. It'd be great to watch solid goaltending.
Don't be the worst goaltenders in the league.
Seriously.
Thank you.
Ooh, then we got a bunch of super chats in a row from Patrick Colmer, 4279. We got, no, I missed Maddie and Phantoms talk yesterday that I waited all summer for. Partial season ticket holder for Phantoms. Agreed with the lineups. You can go back and listen. Unfortunately, you missed being able to interact with us, but you can listen. You can watch. Maddie was great yesterday. She did a great job, and she's going to do a great job for us covering the Phantoms this year for all PHLY and for BroadStreetHockey.com.
Yeah, man. You can find her on 2 websites on the socials media. Like, yeah, you can find Maddie.
The socials media.
Yeah, she's the best.
I love it.
Search her out.
All right. Another one from Patrick Colmer. Really question for yesterday, but explain to me how Lane Peterson got an NHL contract and Wisdom didn't. I know we have a number of contract issues, but other teams Okay. Other teams, I guess, do too. I guess that's where he was going around out of space. It's a good question. I mean, it just seems like they like the idea of having Lane Peterson around as a, as a veteran guy.
I was going to say the veteran presence thing.
That does seem like that was probably the thinking. He's, I believe, significantly older than Zayde Wisdom. Last season, he had 12 points in 18 games for Bakersfield. The season before that, he had 52 points in 66 games for Bakersfield. So he's an established scorer at the AHL level. I'm guessing that was the thought process.
That makes sense.
That said, I really like Zayde Wisdom too. I'm hoping that Wisdom, because he was brought back on an AHL only deal, I'm hoping he plays well enough with the Phantoms that he convinces them to turn that back into an NHL contract, because I like him. I'd like to see him make his NHL debut. I think he's a really likable guy, and he seems like a really nice kid.
He does.
Patrick Colmer, 42, 79. Again, Weise was the biggest waste of a 4-year contract. I'd be interested to see if there were worse 4-year contracts that we could find.
I'm sure the Flyers have done a worse 4-year contract than Dale Weise.
It wasn't a good one.
Have you been here for a while?
That said,
done some stuff.
It was like under a $3 million cap hit.
Yeah.
So I don't want to act like it was the worst, but it wasn't good.
It wasn't good. And Dale clearly knows that, and he's real upset about it. He should get over it.
Well, Dale, if Dale Weise wants to go on podcasts and rip the Flyers, that is his right. He has every right to do so.
Dale Weise, come on PHLY Flyers, and debate us. I'll talk to you.
What will be more fun is if he comes on PHLY Flyers and we have him debate Jake Voracek. That would be fun.
God.
That would be fun. Because I don't know what I could debate Dale Weise. I can't be like, no, you're wrong about the locker room you were in.
You're wrong.
You were in there. Now, Jake Voracek, on the other hand, could debate him.
God, Jake, I can't even. I would die. Jake Voracek is so good at talking.
He is very good at talking.
He is.
He's also got a pretty solid social media game.
Hilarious. That's what I mean by talking. I mean posting.
Oh, you include posting in there too.
Posting is a form of talking, Charlie.
Okay, I mean, fair. I guess we can go down that road. Last one for Patrick Colmer. It's Marco. Okay, I guess they're sharing an account, whatever. It's Marco. You guys coming to A-Town for rookie games. We have not finalized it, but I am definitely going to be there.
Yeah.
I will be covering both the games for all PHLY.
When is this happening again?
I believe it is so not next weekend. I think it's the weekends of the 12th, 13th, I believe, of September. I believe that's when it is.
Your girl's got nothing going on that weekend.
I can tell you that we are discussing having a bigger group come up. Not fans, but more just like coverage. I'm definitely going to be there. But we've also discussed the idea of shows and whatnot. So that's still in the works. Keep an eye out. We will keep you guys updated. But the coverage from PHLY will be there.
For sure.
Do not worry about that. I think that's it.
All right.
All right. Solid show. Kelly, as always, thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlie.
For coming in studio and talking Flyers hockey. Hit that like button. We're at 155 likes. We didn't quite get to 160, but we will. Get there by the end of the
seconds to get to.
We'll get there by the end of the afternoon, I'm sure. Once we get the people who couldn't watch live, but watch every day. And we're very thankful to all of you as well. If you can't watch live, I understand that some people have bosses who are jerks that are looking over their shoulder. So just watch when you can. We appreciate everyone who watches on YouTube and even everyone who just listens on the podcast channels like Spotify, Apple Music, and all of those. But hit that like button if you're watching on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'm Charlie O'Connor. That's Kelly Hinkle. Have a great rest of the day, gang.
We all silly like the mayor.